Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is a love from Lily, and this is a different type of setup. Normally I just do my vlogs, but I feel like it's a long time coming to get on with this video. So yeah, if you haven't read the title, this is my testimony and basically what brought me to Christ. So yeah, I've kind of split this up just so I'm ensure that I include everything that needs to be included, so like in 3 parts. So I'll just like tell you a bit about like myself before coming to Christ, and just to give you some context on the type of girl I was and like the house I was brought up in, and then, you know, how I actually came to coming into Christ, and like how many times I tried and stuff like that, and then speak about basically the present. But yeah, that's how it's going to be split up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this blesses someone. And if you do have any questions or any concerns, whatever, leave it in the comments. I also have my email and my socials, so if you don't want to put it on a public platform, please feel free to DM me or anything like that. But yeah, feel free to comment and subscribe and like, and yeah, let's get straight into the video. My life before Jesus Christ. So yeah, I was born in a Christian home. Both my parents believe in Jesus, and my grandma actually was the first person that actually taught me how to pray and all of that. I guess in my house we would go to like church as a family, but then unfortunately my parents split up in 2015, so when I was 15 years old. So prior to like their split up and like me growing up with like both my parents around, I feel like I was very much like a big tomboy. I just wanted to do everything. To please my dad, literally. When I was in primary school, I'll be buying match attacks, be playing with the boys football at lunchtime. Like, I wasn't girly at all, and I even feel like now I'm still not really girly. I'm really like on my journey to becoming more feminine and stuff like that, but I feel like I have definitely improved. But before, like, you could really cast me on Top Boy and I wouldn't be acting, like I would be very like serious. So yeah, that's a bit about me. My dad, like, he did actually used to be like a youth pastor when he was younger, so he's actually very good at praying. Like, when he prays, like, you actually listen. Then my mom, like, she has all the Joyce Meyer, or say Mayer, I say Meyer, she says Meyer, Joyce Meyer books, like all of them. She used to watch her and everything like that. So like I grew up, you know, just seeing people in touch with Christ. So yeah, 2015 now, my parents are split up, and in hindsight I'm kind of recognizing that it did actually have a big toll on me, although it wasn't like a proper catalyst moment and I just started exploding, but it was like small tendencies that now I see that I picked up once my dad had left the home. So for example, 2015, that was a time when I just started becoming very attracted to boys. I never really spoke to boys like that, nothing. Like, I was very much that, you know, that girl that was friends with all the boys. That was me, like, because I used to athletics, football, all of that. But yeah, so 2015, I remember the first day of year 10, yeah, pumped. The first day of year 10, I didn't even marinate. I went on a date with one boy in Cruise and Hackney. I went on a date. I didn't even, you know, the ones when your clothes are still fresh, they even smell new. Like, I didn't even let it land. I said, yeah, dad's not at crib, let's go find like some attention from boys, because my dad would always give me that attention. He would always like big me up, and I was missing that. I was thinking, huh? So then I was just seeking it in these small boys. But anyways, so yeah, I was seeking that in boys, and I started like being more attracted to boys. However, on the flip side, I feel like that's when my like hood demeanor kind of was born as well, because where I'm the oldest sibling, and I feel like my mom's really like soft and like soft spoken and stuff, so I thought like, okay, cool, I'm the man of the house, like I need to make sure no one violates us, basically. And so then I just, as a coping mechanism, as a defense mechanism, I just became very like, some would say road man them, whatever, and I feel like it was really born then as well. So sometimes I would like talk to boys, but I wouldn't want anything like too serious, because you're in year 10 anyways. But then when I thought it was going too far, I just switch on that hoodlum vibe, and they would basically like just not be interested. Thank you. So yeah, and then in 2015 in May, that's when I met my ex-boyfriend. And it was like, at first we were just like friends and stuff, but then when he was interested in me, despite my hoodlum tendencies, you could say, like I was like, wait, why are you still talking to me? But we were actually like very good friends, which is nice. So yeah, we were together for 8 years, so 2015 until 2020, the beginning of 2023 in January. And like, so basically across those years, it was basically us just going out, and I always just had that security there. And that was like what I was kind of looking for from my dad, if that makes sense. So that constant attention, that constant reassurance, that constant, like, I thought like, okay, cool, I've accomplished life, I found it, cool. So that was just my life, you know, just a bit of context on me and like how life was. And I guess, you know, the part in terms of how I actually came and gave my life to Christ started in, I would say, in 2022. And I just want to mention, like, it wasn't like once and then done. I did try many times, but then it just would flop. So like, my first time trying to give my life to Christ and really be in touch with him was in 2018, when I was doing my A-levels, and I really wanted to go Warwick University. So I worked my butt off. Like, I lived in the library, but I thought, no, I need a relationship with God. And because I went to a Catholic primary school, secondary school, sixth form, and my parents had stopped going to church, I didn't know where else to go. So I just went to Catholic church, basically, just to keep my Christianity, my religion in check, you could say. So I'll go to church, and then I'll go, I said gym, I'll go training. I used to athletics, go training, then I'll go to the library. And that was basically my life. And I thought, like, because I was going to church every week, I thought like God was really seeing me, and I was doing like Bible plans. And then yeah, so once I had got into uni, I got accepted to Warwick University by the grace of God. As soon as I joined uni, I said, who's God again? Like, I aired him. Like, I was like, thanks for getting me here, see you later, maybe buck you in 10 years or so. And like, uni, you guys already know like how uni is. It's so fast paced, you're free, you're living by yourself, you're in a new city, everyone's just running wild basically. And yeah, I was thriving off of that environment basically. Although I was still in a relationship, I just liked the independence. I liked how I felt like I really worked hard, and I felt like God really delivered for me. But even that, because I had the idea of like, you know, God is a God that forgives, and like just a nice mushy huggable God, like which he is, don't get me wrong, but God has a lot of dimensions, and that's what I've kind of come to realize as of recent. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes he is a forgiving God, but if you now manipulate that forgiveness, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, and you're kind of, you know, what would the word be, basically taking the mick out of God, basically. Like, you're like, oh, he's gonna forgive me anyways, it doesn't matter. And it's just like, that's not how you treat, you know, the person you love. But obviously came to learn that later. So yeah, came to uni, loving life, and lo and behold, we enter COVID. So that was 2020. I was in my second year of uni, and the world was forced to stand still basically. And I feel like, you know, we've seen a lot of deaths happening daily, and like, it was just a lot to take in. No one really knew what was happening. It was just a crazy time. And I feel like that's when, like, me and my friends, we were still in Coventry area, so we'll do like Bible study, we'll like try and be in touch. I remember there was one day like we're all in the living room, we'll just listen to like gospel music like back to back all day. So like, that we had the heart, but we weren't ready to like take the next step. And that's what it was for me. Like, I knew who God was, but I never had that relationship with him. We weren't locked in. We were just like, oh, that's God. But I wanted to like actually know his characteristics, like be my Jesus Christ, like, I want you to be my friend type thing. But I was never ready to kind of like let go of like the life that I was living before. But back then I didn't really feel like I was living wrongly, I think. I don't know if that sounds ignorant, but I thought, oh, I'm a nice person, so I guess I'll get to heaven type thing. But yeah, obviously not. It's not even about if you're a nice person or not. Literally, it's just about accepting Jesus Christ in your heart and aligning with his word and aligning with his instructions basically. in short, obviously. But yeah, so I tried again to get closer to God in 2020, and you know, for the duration of that COVID lockdown period, I feel like it was going strong, because I feel like that was when a lot of people kind of gave their life to Christ. So it wasn't like you were on your own anomaly type thing. It was like loads of people were joining like Zooms and like lives, and people were talking about God and this and that, and we all had time to tune in. Do you get what I mean? What else were we doing? Everything was locked down, so everyone was taking time to actually listen to these people speak about God, speak about their relationship and all of this, like but then I feel like the minute like the world started coming back to some sense of normalcy, that's when I feel like it dwindled a little bit for me, and no one had time anymore to listen to the word of God, basically. And bearing in mind, in that time, again, like I said, I was going Catholic church, really. I wasn't really going to any other church. So yeah, fast forward to 2022, still in a relationship, and I feel like my life on paper was meant to be good. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. Like, if I told anyone, yeah, you're in a long-standing relationship, you just graduated from Warwick University with a 2-1, you have a job, you got a job maybe in your first 2 months, good well-paying job, you have a good set of friends, you have a good career. So I was dancing as well on the side, so another stream of income. Both of your parents, you know, they're still alive, your siblings are safe. Like, I never really had something to look for God for. Like, you know, sometimes when I watch other testimonies, sometimes that something really drastic happens to them, and then they like, that's when they turn to God. But then I feel like for me it was like kind of the opposite. Like, everything was okay, and that's when it kind of took a different turn for me. So in 2022, I was the queen of holidays. That was my year to leave this country. Like, I just went everywhere. Every couple months I was in a different country, and that was my idea of peace. That was my idea of, you know, being happy. That was my idea of accomplishing life, basically. Like, I'm 22, I'm going to this holiday, I'm going to that holiday, going here, Marbs, Dubai, Mexico, Napa. I was there, literally. And every time I went on the holiday, don't get me wrong, I had such a good time. And then I'll come back and I just feel like, oh, so the only way I have to get peace is if I leave the country. Like, that's too expensive. Like, can I find a peace that can be consistent? Can I find a peace that's everlasting? And because of that void that I had in me, it was like an itch I couldn't scratch. It was just like I was looking for something, but I couldn't find it. So obviously, like, my relationship, I would like to say, was like a healthy relationship. And yeah, it wasn't like, there wasn't any animosity or like arguments like that. But then I feel like towards the end, where I had this void in me, looking for this peace, looking for this love that was like indescribable, my problem was I was trying to find it in my ex-boyfriend. And I feel like, again, that kind of stemmed from, you know, coming from a home where my dad was like the one that was always showing that love to me, always bigging me up and all of that. And then obviously, because I had lost that, obviously me and my dad are still cool. Obviously, that's my guy, I'm saying cool, but that's my dad. We still talking that, but obviously, you know, when you live with someone, you get like constantly. But then obviously, like, we would speak on the phone, and it was just a bit distant, and I kind of wanted it all the time. And poor ex-boyfriend, like, he's only a human as well, and I'm asking him to do all these things. It's a bit unfair, like, in hindsight. But obviously at the time I was like, you're my boyfriend, you have to give me peace, you have to give me love, you have to. And it's true, they do. However, it's a different kind of love that I was looking for. So I feel like, to an extent, like, I was getting what I signed up for ish, but what I was looking for, he wouldn't be able to provide that ever. Like, I even feel like, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but like, my husband, like, I feel like I would still love Jesus more. I feel like you're meant to, though, but I feel like no one can ever take that love away that I've like received from Jesus Christ, basically. Although humans still share love between like one another, but it's a different type of love, it's a different type of peace. So like towards the end of like mine and my ex's relationship, it was a thing where it was like I wanted that thing from him so bad, because I couldn't get it from holidays, I couldn't get it from my career, couldn't get it from my family. Like in my family at the time, like I'm the elder sibling, so fellow older siblings, if you're watching this, and if you're a female older sibling, older sister, you have a lot of responsibilities, and sometimes no one really asks you, how are you? Are you okay? No one asks me that. They just expect me to have it all together, because I'm that type of person. I always look like I have it together, but inside, breaking. But you know, I have younger siblings that are relying on me, so I have to make sure that, you know, I'm doing what I have to do. So I couldn't afford to be out of work. I couldn't afford to not take a dance job. I couldn't afford to miss a day of work or take unpaid sick leave. There was people waiting for me to make food and all of this, and it was a lot of responsibilities basically. So where I thought that peace would come from was from my ex-boyfriend, but then it slightly became, not even slightly, it did become very idolatry. So obviously, if like something I thought of now was like, if Jesus Christ was to come back in that time in 2022, like September, October, and Jesus came back and he asked me, do you love me more than your ex-boyfriend? With my mouth, I would have been like, yeah. Like, how can you even ask me that? Jesus, you died for me. If he just opened my body in two and looked at my heart, do you know what my heart would tell? My heart would say, number 1, ex-boyfriend. Number 2, career. Number 3, money. Number 4, holidays. Number 5, Chanel bag. So like, the list would, I think Jesus would be, Jesus. Oh, he does too much for people. He would have not even made it to the top 10, I can't lie. But with my mouth, I'm confessing, yeah, I love you, Jesus. Yeah, like, with my mouth, I'll say, yeah, Jesus, like, why would I put my ex-boyfriend above? And I feel like also there's a culture where like now, like, I feel like it's good to prioritize your partner, your husband, boyfriend maybe, I don't know, but always make sure God is number 1. That's what I would say, because if that boy is number 1, you're signing yourself up for failure. I'll tell you this for free. So yeah, my ex-boyfriend was number 1, and whereas for him, he had good morals, and I was like maybe number, let me guess myself up, what, number 3 or something like that. I definitely wasn't number 1. So that's why we clashed, because I would literally, like, I would sacrifice so much, and then I felt like I wouldn't get it back sometimes, right, as he rightfully should, like, do in his rights, innit? But I just felt like, what, like, you're my number 1, like, but then he would always tell me, like, I can't lie, this is number 1, that's number 1, that's number 1, then you come, and he would always tell me that. I'm just like, you're fake, like, how can you say this? But it's true, it's true. And there was even one time, guys, you know, sometimes that when you're arguing with someone, yeah, and then they tell you something, and then you have to look yourself in the mirror like, whoa. So imagine we're arguing, yeah, and I'm moving out, like, my ex-boyfriend and my siblings are the only ones that can really bring me to a different realm of anger. And like, one time we were arguing, we didn't argue that much, but, and then he must have been like to me, you need to pray. I said, are you actually crazy? I'm angry, you're telling me I need to pray. You need to pray. Like, I was thinking, how are you telling me I need to pray? He was like, you can't let someone like get you this annoyed, like, how do I have this much control? And the thing is, he was always honest, so I respect him for that. And it's true in hindsight, because he was my number 1, he was my idol. And I have some verses actually that basically say we shouldn't have any idols at all. No one should come before God. No one should come before, like, our creator. Like, it just don't make sense. And that's why, you know, I started looking for Jesus, because I was trying to find things that Jesus gives in humans that are bound to fail. We're all made out of dust. So how can someone that's made out of dust provide me with this eternal, everlasting consolation, this love, this peace, this joy that gives me strength? How? We're lying to ourselves if we say that they do. It's not that. It's not the same thing. So one verse in Exodus chapter 20, verse 3, you shall have no other gods before me. Then verse 5, you shall not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, the Lord your God, I am a jealous God. God is jealous. He wants you to put him as number 1. He wanted me to put him as number 1, but I'm putting Chanel bag and what's that other Dior saddle bag. I wanted that bag so much. Like, I was putting everything before him. Jealous gods. In Ezekiel chapter 14 verse 3, son of man, these men have set up idols in their hearts and put them that which causes them to stumble. So yeah, it was just like, because you're putting other people above, you kind of hinder yourself for your growth and your destiny, basically. And that's basically what happened to me. So because I couldn't find that peace and that joy and that love from my ex-boyfriend, I started going to church. My friend had invited me to RPF worship night, October 28th, and in 2022, and I went, and literally as I walked in that building, bearing in mind I was looking for other churches, so I was going to other churches and I was seeking God. I just felt so lost. I felt so like helpless and stuff like that. And then as soon as I walked in, I just felt like my shoulders are high, and I just felt relieved. Like I just said, you know when you come home and you've done a long day of shopping and you've brought the shopping bags and you're finally inside. And by the way, my house, I don't have a lift as well, so like I'm very relaxed as soon as I get in my house. Like you put the shopping bags down and you're just like and I just exhaled when I entered this place. And I've never been in this building before. It's my first time. I haven't been to a worship night before. Like I've never been to, like I've been going Catholic church, like they don't do worship night, they sing hymns. So it was like, it was a very weird but comfortable feeling when I entered this place. And like I must have picked up a tambourine, then all night I was just shaking the tambourine, I was crying. I must have went up to the altar, like the pastor was just like, oh, if anyone wants to, you know, give their life to Christ, like come to the front, I'll pray for you. So I went to the front, and like, but then even then it wasn't like an immediate like, yeah, I'm gonna be a pastor. But it was just like, okay, now I'm acknowledging God in my life a bit more. And I was going to church every now and again. I wasn't going every Sunday, like every other Sunday and stuff like that. And then I had gone to Napa in December now. Napa with my my friends I made in uni. That trip was so fun. And it wasn't the Napa that you may think. There was no one in, I think we were the only people in Napa, but anyway, whatever. And then I must have just been on, I remember we were on the yacht, and then I was just like sitting and I was just thinking, is this all that life has to bring? At this point I had already been on 4 or 5 holidays, and I was like, is life just holidays? Is peace just found? Is this all that life has? Like and I was actually, I made a prayer in my heart, like, Jesus, is this all like life is about? Like, and I must have came back, and then the next day I went to church. My pastor basically said, there's someone here, you just came back from holiday and you're asking God if, you know, this is all life brings. And I'm looking around like, who snitched on me? And these times at church, I didn't talk to anyone like that. Only my friend that had invited me. So I'm like, who snitched? Who snitched? Who snitched? And like, he was like, yeah, like God said he's ready for you now. Like, and I was just looking around like, what? Like, you actually heard me? And I feel like that's the first time when I actually felt like I had an answered prayer, apart from me getting into Warwick. But I feel like that was, let me not say down to my hard work, but I wasn't in tune with God, so I don't feel like it was like an answered prayer. But this was like an answered prayer. Literally the day before, I was asking God, like, is this all life is? Like, just going on holiday? Like, then the next day I'm getting told like God's ready for you to like take him seriously. And I was like, whoa, like, is this real? So I was shocked. And so then from that moment I just started coming to church more often, started taking it more seriously, learning, reading the word. And then as I was going through the motions, I just felt like God was telling me to end my relationship, because as that the verses I read previously, he's a jealous God, and other people were taking his space. He wanted to be number one so he can reign over my life. And I was like, God, you're telling me to break up with this 8-year relationship. I can't do it. Like, I can't. I thought we're getting married. I thought like 8 years. Please give me those years back. Then he said, trust me, trust me. And I was like, no, I can't do it, I can't do it. Show me a sign. You don't show me a sign. I'll do show me a sign press. And the signs were signing as well. And I was like, oh. So finally done it. But I made a little covenant with God. I just said, cool, I'm about to send this message. You were the one that told me to break up with him. I didn't want to. So I don't want to be heartbroken, please. I've seen my friends go through it. I've seen my mom. I've seen it too many times, and I just didn't want to be involved with it because the year had just started. It was January 2023, and I was like, 2023 just started. It can't be written off from the beginning. Like, give me a chance. So I said, God, please, if this is from you, I don't want to be heartbroken. Please, 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 please. Because what I was a bit scared of was that in the back of my mind that I had made the wrong decision and I was just acting irrationally. So I was like, God, if this decision's from you, I don't want to be heartbroken. Cool. God like confirmed it, whatever. Said my farewells, and it was the smoothest farewell that anyone had ever farewelled. I'm telling you guys, like, well, I don't know what you guys think of breakup, but for me, I thought it would be a little bit of tussle. But I thought, oh, what? No, like, man said, yeah, come. I said, what are you doing? Just like that. So I was like, okay, this is going a bit too smooth. Then I was thinking, yeah, cue the tears. Like, one tear must have came down, then it went back up. And guys, this happened, I think, January. I don't actually remember the exact date, but it was the beginning of January 2023. I haven't been sad since. And what did God give me? He gave me his joy. He gave me his peace. He gave me his love. He gave me his kindness, his gentleness, his patience. He gave me all of those things like that. As soon as I said, God, please, like, just make sure that I don't want to be heartbroken, yeah? Then he was just like, yeah, cool, it's okay. Put me first. Like, he was happy for me. He was like, let's get cracking. Like, you know, as you said, jealous God. He wants to be number one. So he was happy to take his rightful position in my life. And I've just been so at peace. This peace is indescribable. You can't buy this peace in the shop. Even if I get that Chanel classic, I'll be a bit yes, but like, it's not the same as the peace that God has given me. It's like, it even says, I think in John, like, my peace I leave you, my peace I give you, not that the world gives. This peace that I have is like, even if in front of me reality is telling me, yo, you're unemployed, you're this, you're that, I'm still smiling. And that's just weird for me. Like, I'm a realist. I was a realist. Like, I never really believed in all of that big dreamer thing. Like, I was never an optimistic person. I was very realistic. So for me to smile despite all of these trials, and I'm not saying that you won't go through stuff, but the fact that you have Jesus Christ with you, the Lord with you, like in Joshua chapter 1 verse 9, it says that do not fear or nor be dismayed. Be strong and be of good courage, for the Lord is with you wherever you go. So wherever I go, whether it be with a bit of, you know, trials and tribulations, the Lord is with me everywhere. And like, how my life has been afterwards has just been a testimony to how good God is. That I've been airing him my whole life basically, and the minute I said, cool, let's work together, he was happy to work with me. He was happy to move at my pace. And that since then I've just been going to church consistently and also growing an intimate relationship with him. Because before, like I said, when I was doing my A-levels, I just knew of him, but now I feel like we're really becoming, like, me and Jesus, like, we're actually becoming friends. The Holy Spirit, like, the helper that he left with me, like, I just hear him speaking to me, telling me what to do and instructing my life. And my life has been like nothing short of amazing. Like, this, my 23rd year, something that I initially thought once I had broken up with my ex-boyfriend that, yeah, this year is written off, has been the best year of my life. Like, I've never been single in my life since I was 15, and it's just like, I'm 23 now, and it's just like, you're meant to be sad. Like, and I remember I was telling like some of my friends, it's like, oh, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And I feel like they thought I was lying, but I was actually okay. I was more than okay. I was filled with joy. But it wasn't because like I had left a toxic relationship or whatnot. Like, the relationship was healthy, whatever, but it was like, I just traded my desires for everlasting peace and everlasting joy. And like, literally, that peace hasn't left me since I made that covenant with God, and I pray that that peace never leaves me in Jesus' name. And yeah, my life's been good. I got baptized in May, as you guys have seen. I put in a vlog. Like, I've joined choir. I'm like I do Bible study with my friends weekly. We even started it in January as well, so I feel like January was very much like new beginnings for me. And like, I've just become so on fire for God. I feel like all I do is just post about Jesus, but I can't not, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, he's just done so much. And I know if I had broken up with my ex and I just done it because maybe I wasn't looking for God, I probably would have been so heartbroken and this year would have been dark. But it's been great. Like, it's been amazing. Like, me and my ex-boyfriend were calm. It's just peace. Like, there's no trouble, there's no people like trying to shout guys again, like, oh, it's just been peace. So that's why I know it was from God, because I haven't been troubled, I haven't been told otherwise. So yeah, that's a bit about me. And if you are interested in giving your life to Christ, no, I'm joking, but if you are, like, you should, because I feel like life can't be any better than the life I'm living right now. I love my life so much. I love everything I've learned this year. October's next month. It's going to be a year since I first went to my church, and yeah, it's just been great. I've been able to grow so many amazing friendships that have, like, pushed me and encouraged me to move forward with God and to just keep elevating, and to grow that intimacy. And even, like, with my church as well, what I really appreciate is that, like, no one puts anyone above God. God is the number one, and, like, everyone just wants to get to know God. That's it. Wants to get to know Jesus Christ. And that's, like, the environment that everyone should be in, because I feel like sometimes with churches, I know it can be quite sensitive, because a lot of people have been in, like, different churches that may have not, like, aligned with what God actually has written for you, and now it's deterring you from going to church. But I do, like, encourage you to keep trying, keep giving it a go. As I said, I tried first to give my life to Christ when I was 18, but I only ended up doing it when I was 22, turning 23. So yeah, that's me, and that's my testimony. I hope yeah, it's made sense. And yeah, God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and most importantly, remember that Jesus loves you and he's with you wherever you go. God bless you.